Recently, China enacted stricter recycling rules, which are impacting the local recycling market, and it's especially being felt in the recycling of mixed paper, such as magazines, junk mail, and office paper. With more on the recycling front is Bellevue Utilities Conservation and Outreach Program Administrator Jennifer Goodhart. Jennifer, it's great to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So with the China recycling market essentially closed to the U.S., should residents stop putting mixed paper in their recycling cart?
No, residents should continue recycling mixed paper as they usually have, but this is an opportunity to actually really think about recycling right and making sure that those paper items are dry and don't have any food residue on them. And another thing is to reduce the amount of paper you have to put in the recycling bin by doing this junk mail. You can stop junk mail, and you can also stop catalogs deliveries to your home.
Yeah, and you had mentioned as far as contamination that seems to be an issue. For example, jars still having sauce or food in them. What can someone do to avoid having that type of issue?
Right. They can rinse everything. If it had food in it, they need to rinse it out and practice responsible recycling is the best way to go. Residents get a guide every year from the city. It should have hit mailboxes early, I think in February. And this is what it looks like to single-family homes. And it goes over everything that you can put in each of the carts that you have at your home. And so if you just follow these guidelines, then there should be no problems. Clean, empty, and dry.
And then something else I came across that the public should avoid is what those in the industry call wishful recycling. So what exactly is wishful recycling?
Right. That's when somebody thinks they have something and really hopes and wishes that it's recyclable, and they just put it in the blue bin. And what it does is actually causes a huge amount of problems at the recycling facilities. And some items that I've heard that have come across those belts are like hoses, Christmas lights, even animal carcasses, which is disgusting. There's bowling balls, medical syringes. I mean, just a million. If you could think of something that's probably come across the bin, diapers, pet waste, it's really bad. So those things, just stick to the guidelines, and we shouldn't have any problems.
Yeah, and you brought with you some items that are recyclable.
Right.
So let's kind of go over what's the right way to recycle and what you should avoid doing.
Yeah, the main things that you definitely can recycle, like we were just talking about, mixed paper. We've got, this is just an example of all the junk mail. I need to stop my junk mail. I got a lot yesterday. Tin and aluminum cans. We've got aluminum can. Clean glass. But if you get something like this and you're just don't want to rinse it out, throw it in the garbage because it will contaminate. It's a long journey for this to make it to the end market, and it would be completely coated in, it would be a hazardous material at the time it gets to the end market. So rinse your glass. And one other thing I wanted to say is that things like greasy pizza boxes, napkins that have like food on them, they can all go into your green organics cart. It contaminates the blue cart. So just keep that in mind. Yep.
So what else can someone do to help on the recycling front and avoid things from going to the landfill?
Right. Something that anyone can do is reduce and reuse. Those come first. It's reduce, reuse, recycle, and then there's rethink. But so use a reusable coffee mug. I brought an example. This can reduce a ton of waste if you drink a lot of coffee. Reusable water bottles. You can use reusable sporks. They make reusable straws now. Reusable bags like this. There's tons of ways that you can reduce your impact.
And something else that the public should be aware of coming up in July is a latex paint recycling event that Bellevue Utilities is hosting. Tell me a little bit about the event.
Yep, this event is really exciting that we are able to now in Washington actually recycle latex paint. We haven't ever actually been able to do that. This is a new company that moved to Washington called Green Sheen that takes paint, old paint, remnants of paint in cans, and mixes them by color and then resells. They probably have a process. Then they resell it to the public. So it's full loop recycling. And we have the event on July 14th at Sammamish High School. And there's small fees associated per size of your container. And We actually have flyers about the event. I'll hold one up real quick. They're at all the local paint stores, and then I think we'll have a close-up of it so you can see the details.
Great. Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much, Jennifer, for stopping by and sharing with us these recycling tips.
Yeah, thanks for having me.